What's going on, everybody? So I hope you're off to an awesome week. Hope you're getting ready for a serious week of productivity and moving forward towards your goals and whatnot. I had an awesome experience over the weekend that I wanted to share with you. Something that just moved me enormously, really struck a chord with me, really resonated with me. And hey guys, what's going on? Hey Amara, how are you, buddy? And something that really impacted me, and I really want to pass it on to you because I really think that it should impact you. And so my daughter, my older daughter, who's 14, Sammy, she plays competitive travel indoor volleyball. What's up, Andy? How are you, buddy? She is a little nugget. So my daughter is not even 5 feet yet. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of height in my family between me. I like to say I'm 5'5.5". My wife always chuckles when I say that half, but it's true. And so I'm sticking with it. But so, my daughter is a little nugget. And so when she plays, this is competitive travel volleyball. They travel to Colorado, to Georgia, to, whatever, all over the place. And so this weekend, they had a tournament. And so we were in Fort Lauderdale for 2 days, yes, even on Valentine's Day. And check this out. There was actually one girl on one particular team that caught my attention. That really, and I want you to pay attention to this because there is massive, crazy value in what it is that I saw from this girl. So this girl was my daughter's age, right? So this girl was 14 years old. And she was on a different team. She wasn't on my daughter's team, right? So she was on another team. And this girl had an amazing attitude. Every ball, every volley, every point, she was smiles. She was cheering on her teammates. She was giving 100%. Now at this age, man, at 14, 15 years old with girls, right? There's always a handful of girls that when they make a mistake, they huff and they puff. They hold their head down, or when their coach tells them tweak this, tweak that, they roll their eyes, or they make a mistake, they shank the ball, they hit the ball into the net, and when their teammates come over to say, hey, no problem, they don't even want to, they don't make eye contact, they don't even want to have anything to do with their teammates, right? Well, this girl, she was not like that at all. When she hit the ball into the net, which was a rarity, or when she hit the ball out, when she had a misfire, when she shanked the ball, right? She didn't hold her head down. She wasn't upset, right? She regrouped herself. You could see her, inhale, take this breath and get on with it. When her teammates came over to say, hey, don't worry about it, get back on the horse, she would high five them, right? And she was still smiles. When the ball came to her for her to hit, man, she hit. She unleashed. She never held back. At least that was my perception. She let it fire. She was the one that was the biggest cheerleader out on the court, right? She was the one that was cheering the most for her teammates. She was the one that was encouraging her teammates the most, right? And she was like this leader out on the court, this cheerleader, this leader, and she was a phenomenal player, right? No excuses, no justifications, no complaining, no moaning, no, oh, this, that, or I made the mistake because of this teammate or that teammate or this or that. But check this out. You know what? The thing that I didn't tell you about this girl was that she had one arm. This girl had one arm. Man, she had one arm. She had a prosthetic arm that was really, to me, it looked like it was more for show than it was for function. It didn't do anything, right? It didn't do anything, right? But this girl didn't let that one arm, amazing. A 14, 15-year-old girl playing competitive volleyball, cheering, loud, aggressive, confident, motivating, a team leader, and one freaking arm. Right? I've seen girls with full limbs and everything complaining about this, rolling their eyes about that, pointing the finger at this person, this teammate, that teammate, right? Somebody else over there pointing out every reason why they shanked the ball and how it wasn't their fault, right? Making up excuses, justifications, rationalizations, all these things. The same things that we see from some entrepreneurs, unfortunately, some marketers, unfortunately, right? All the reasons why others are successful, but not them, right? All the reasons why, well, that guru, that expert, that person, they have connections, they have friends, they're smarter, they have more money, they have more time, they're not working full time, they don't have a family, they're blah, 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 blah. All the, right? We all know marketers and entrepreneurs that have that kind of, that whole mentality, right? And they make up excuses and justifications and reasons, right? And then there are others that just recognize that it is what it is. We play the cards that were dealt and we move forward with no excuses, right? Reminds me of, and I shared this with my team internally here at MFA in an internal memo a handful of weeks ago, this quote that I used to have above my desk on my whiteboard for years. And the quote was from Dan Kennedy, and it said, "You can either be good at making excuses or you can be good at making money, but you cannot be good at both." Right? This was a girl that had, if there was ever a player out on the court at 14 years old playing competitive volleyball, right, on this level that had the right, if you will, or the reason, if you will, to be able to make excuses, it was this girl. But she had none of it. And she was a freaking champ. Right? She first stood out to me, not because she had one arm, but because she was getting it done. She was getting it done and moving her team and motivating her team and pushing her team in spite of the adversity. Right? And so, look, the reality is this is the thing that I want to leave you with today. Right? This is the thing that I want to leave you with today, that, you know, oftentimes, you know, I tell marketers, you know, clients, students, folks on social media, folks at events, you know, when they'll say, Todd, you're, a guru, a recognized expert or whatnot, which always makes me chuckle, right? Always makes me chuckle, because just like you, the only difference between me and many of you, most of you, is that I've been doing this a long time, and I've studied my butt off. I've learned. I wasn't born with any of these skill sets. I developed them just like you can develop them, right? And I share all the time the top 2% in the market right now. Put whoever you want in the top 2% in terms of marketers, entrepreneurs. Take me, if you will, maybe not. Russell Brunson, Rich Schefrin, Ryan Dice, Frank Kern, Mike Filsaime, whoever, right? At one point, the top 2% was the bottom 2%. At one point, the people that make up the top 2% right now knew nothing about email, knew nothing about copy, knew nothing about direct response marketing, knew nothing about Periscope or webinars or Twitter or media buying or conversions or funnels or any of that, right? Any of that. And so it's up to you. Right? It's truly up to you. You can play the cards that you're dealt, or you can make excuses about the cards that you can point the fingers about the cards that you're dealt. You can point the fingers, right? At one point, I had no connections. At one point, Ryan Dice had no connections. Russell Brunson had no connections. Rich Schefrin had no connections, right? And then those connections were made just like you can make them. There might be things that you don't know today, that you don't know how to do, that you don't understand how to do. Well, there was one point in time where that was the same thing for Frank Kern, for Rich Schefrin, for me, for Russell Brunson, Ryan Dice, Perry Belcher, you name it, right? You name it. And so somebody said, so let me see, you all share other habits as well, reading a lot, hustling, and you're all passionate. Cheers, man. You're right. You're right. But that's a choice. That's the beautiful thing, that for each and every one of you, that's a choice. You get to choose what to do with your time every day. You get to choose whether you want to read and learn and grow, right? I say when people are like, you're a brilliant marketer, right? I point, you have the opportunity, they have the opportunity to do what it is that we do, to study, to learn, to dedicate yourself, to pass up on watching episodes of whatever on TV, at night, or whatever, right? I invest in my education and my growth in the areas that I want to develop, in making my strengths even stronger, in learning more about the things that I'm passionate about, I spend more money than arguably any of my students or clients, no doubt about it. Right? And so I don't only preach the value of education and growth to overcome adversity and to deal with what we've got to deal with, but I live it, right? I live it. And, look, you've got to recognize you've just got to take the cards that you're dealt and move forward with that. And not make excuses, not make justifications or rationalizations, not point the finger at anything or anybody else, but to recognize that, like, you hold the keys, just like that girl did. Just like that girl, one freaking arm, and she was out there as a superstar. She was out there as a champ. She was out there leading the way. She was out there as a standout, handicap and all, and I salute that girl, as should you. And so take that for all it's worth today, and take that and remember that, and think of that girl when you are thinking about your obstacles, your adversities, the things standing in your way, right? Think about that today and go get them. And I'll talk to you guys and gals tomorrow. And so if you like this and you got value and you dig it, and go ahead and heart it up, and you got it. And I'll see you guys and gals tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening to my crazy rants and ramblings. I so appreciate your time, and I'm really enjoying doing these periscopes now, and definitely going to try to do more on a daily basis. And so thank you guys and gals so much for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow. And so take care, everybody.